Hey everyone, Isaiah here, and I know it's been a while since there's been any kind of update on the channel. Me and Steven have had very conflicting schedules as of late, and barring any unforeseen circumstances, I estimate that we'll see more of the single issue in just a couple of more weeks now, maybe 2 or 3 weeks at that point, at this point. So I wanted to try to do something for the channel, try to have some kind of content, especially for these moments where Steve and I aren't able to get together. And another thing I've been trying to do more often is doing warm-ups before I start working on comic pages. I find that it's immensely helpful to do some kind of exercise beforehand so that I can get into the mindset of the kind of problem solving that you go through when you're drawing and just even the motions, um, getting my hands and all those little finger muscles and stuff like that working and starting to think in a way that's suited for getting some art done. So I thought it'd be fun to do some videos of the warm-ups that I'll work on. And so here's the very first one. And one of the things I really like to do when I'm just doing just loose sketching of, say, Transaltown characters like we have here with Alicia here, is I try to do something fun where I'll draw them in a different outfit, something that's not the same thing that you see them wearing in every single issue of Transaltown. Something a little fun, something that gives me just a different way to think of the character. And what's really fun about these kinds of exercises is that it kind of gets me into a mindset where I'm thinking a little bit more about the character instead of just writing situations and how they would go about those situations by thinking, well, how would Alicia dress differently than she normally dresses? Then I can kind of break the character down some more and think of different ways to express who they are and their personality. It's a fun kind of thing to do with even just playing around with character designs, just taking um, a character that you've already designed and just doing something very new to them. And I like to do different things with their hair and different things with their outfits and just have a little fun with it and still make it feel a lot like them. So what you see here is the penciling phase, of course, and you'll probably see me, and as we just saw there a moment ago, me just like taking the lasso tool and then shifting things around. And of course, in this penciling phase, it's a really good time for you to figure all that kind of stuff out. You'll see me do things like flip the canvas over, like just right there, so that you can kind of view things from a different angle. And I work a lot on especially in Transaltown, the eyes, getting the eyes just right. I'm very particular about the likeness of Transaltown characters, and so in this sketch, and anytime you see me sketching out Transaltown characters in general, you'll probably find me work on the face over and over and over again. And it's really simple things of like, I think the eye's just a little bit too high, the nose should probably be in this place, they don't quite smile that kind of way. And what's happening there is that I'm trying to keep the characters on model, and it seems like it's a really easy thing to do, but even with some of the simple shapes that I use on Transaltown characters, it's really easy for them to get off model. So every now and then I just go back to the face while I'm still in the penciling phase, and I'm like, there's something about this that I just don't feel, and there I go, working on it again. And so now we've got the inking phase going on here, and I had a whole lot of fun with the hair that I'm drawing on Alicia here. I definitely didn't want to just draw the normal kind of pulled back bun thing that she usually has. I wanted to have a little bit more fun and I really wanted to draw this very fun curly hairstyle for her. That's probably a type of hairstyle I've been trying to figure out how I want to capture with my visual language when I draw cartoons, especially like the Transaltown way. So this was a very fun moment for me to get a little bit of practice doing that kind of thing. Um, and like I said, I do this exercise quite a bit of just doing a different costume or just a different outfit for the characters in general. And for this particular one, I know I just wanted to do something very colorful. And I usually have very specific rules about like what each Transaltown character likes to wear. Alicia likes to wear layered clothing, in a very casual kind of way. and I usually will put her in tights if she's wearing a skirt or something like that. She usually likes to wear pants in general. Um, and polka dots are really fun, and just for any of my readers of Transaltown that happen to be watching this at the moment, Alicia's catchphrase, Jeebawese. I wanted to come up with something weird for her to say whenever she was exclaiming things, or just had like a jinkies kind of moment. And I remember going up on Facebook and asking family and friends, just like, what's a weird exclamation kind of thing. And the two that I was stuck on were polka dots and Jeebawese. And right up until the first time I drew Alicia's expression, it was going to be polka dots. So that's a fun thing I like to do whenever I make these little sketches of Alicia, is to sometimes incorporate polka dots into the outfit that she's wearing. It's just kind of like a nod to that friend who had suggested that one, but I ended up going with Jeebawese instead, because when I drew that face, I was like, that's a Jeebawese face. So here we are working on colors, and I've been playing quite a bit of Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE lately, and that really bright, vivid, intense color palette was something that was fresh on my mind when I started doing this, and so I wanted to play around with a color palette like that when I was drawing this picture. And as you can see here, we've got this kind of aqua blue and these yellows, and then of course the purple that matches her hair color. And I should have probably added some green in here too, just to have another extra pop of just fantastic fun colorfulness. But I just went with these three colors. Generally for my character designs, especially in Transworld Town, when it comes to figuring out a color palette for them, I try to keep it simple. Characters tend to not have more than three colors, and I'll usually have a color that I kind of associate with them in general. And full disclosure here, I am not well versed in Manga Studio 5, which is what you're seeing me do the coloring in here. So a little fun thing as these videos go on in the future, you get to see me experiment more with Manga Studio and figure out the way that I want to do things. And I mean, it's not that different from any other programs that I've colored with, like Photoshop or anything like that. But there's a lot of different things in here that I just am not familiar with. So I'm probably just going to be playing around with things as I make these little warm-up videos. And I'm not entirely concerned with making the most finished, complete artwork here. I'm just kind of getting in the mindset of doing artwork before I actually do any pages. So I'm just trying to find a quick, fun little way of me to just kind of quickly capture these things, especially these warm-ups in general kind of will take a while. I actually don't do these in one sitting. They're little warm-ups that I'll do within a handful of days. So I'll work on a penciling of a warm-up sketch one day, and then the next day before I work, I'll do the inking, and the next day before I work, I'll lay down flats, which is easy, and you didn't see a video of me laying down flats because that's kind of boring to watch. And then the next day I'll do all the coloring on it. So I definitely want to find some sort of way to when I'm more confident and I've experimented enough with this program, definitely find a way of just kind of quickly getting down what I want to get down and moving on, and just kind of getting into thinking like an artist for the day. And I'm playing around with the airbrush tool in this program, and I kind of like it a lot. It's working very much like an actual airbrush, where the colors will layer down more the more I expose a certain area to the color, even while I'm still holding the stylus down, as opposed to something like in Photoshop where I would have to play around with the opacity and the pressure and that kind of stuff to get that kind of layered effect and then go over and over again. But yeah, this is almost done here at this point, and I'm really liking just kind of the feel, the fun kind of poppy colors. I go for this this triad color scheme here. Probably should have made those tights a different color. I don't know if I'm entirely happy with the yellow, but yeah, here is my little warm-up. And if you guys enjoyed this video, then by all means I encourage you to watch some of the single issue that me and Stephen Patrick Kelly do here, where we just kind of chat and shoot the business over videos of one of us doing artwork. And I'll have some other fun content here in the future. And of course, if you are into my comics and these videos in general, feel free to support me on Patreon. That helps out a whole lot. I can produce a whole lot more comics more frequently if that gets around to a point where I can get to that point. So thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I'll check you guys next time.